Okay, come on, Mama. All right, and we are back with our little girl Ellie here. And what we're gonna do this session, good girl, is we're gonna work on introducing her to the leaf blower here. Now, not necessarily totally introducing her to it, but adding it into her, adding it in as a distraction to her stays. Okay, so let's reset this here. I do have obviously the leaf blowers right here, but let's reset her. Come on, let's go. Come on. Good girl. Bring her back around. Come on. Up. Good girl. Whoa, you missed it. Sit. Down. Okay. Down. Good. So I want to make sure that, make sure right here, okay, as you're, let's guide her back over. Yes, I do roll them over or guide them back over with the leash when they start rolling around like that, okay? Because we want to be very, very clear that, you know, down means to lay down, right? Down means lay down. Let me actually get on this side. Okay, are you? So we don't, down, good girl. So we want them to understand that it means lay down and not start rolling over or getting goofy or looking for belly rubs, right? And this is just very important when we're teaching our dogs the difference between work and play, right? When it's time to work, it's time to work, and when it's play, we can play, right? So even here, okay? Even here, they can start smelling themselves, they start scratching. Guys, we've seen it all, okay? We've seen it all. You allow some of this, and the next thing you do, the next thing you know, they're up. They broke it, okay? So she's getting a few crumbs here from the previous, okay, which is gonna distract her a little bit. But the point is that, again, we're trying to teach our dogs how to stay on task, right? Just understanding that when we ask them to lay down, we want them to just solely lay down and to stay on task. It doesn't mean start smelling all over the cot. Doesn't mean start scratching themselves, rolling over, asking for belly rubs. It doesn't mean get distracted, okay? So that's what, and also that's what we're trying to teach her, okay? We're trying to teach her not to get distracted, and so we're gonna have to point all of these mistakes out, right? All of these unwanted behaviors, we have to point them out. The only wanted behavior that we want right now is for her to lay down and relax, okay? So anything other than that should be pointing out that she's doing it incorrectly, right? So we're gonna do that by using our leash, right? We use our leash, we engage it, and then we disengage it when she stopped doing what it is that we didn't want her to do, okay? So here she is, good girl, we're gonna tell her to stay. Good girl. Let me just give her a little reward for holding the stay right here. Good girl. Okay, so she's already on her stay, and here is the distraction. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do here, look at her there. Good girl. You saw, she noticed it, right? She noticed it, and then she started to look at me. So I went ahead and wrote stay. I rewarded her for just noticing this and holding it. Yes, good girl. And almost just saying, oh, cool, that's there? Cool. That's the response I'm looking for, okay? So I'm just moving this up and down. Good, and if you noticed right there, I moved it up and down more than any other time, right? So as I start to get these reps in, little by little, I'm gonna be asking for more, meaning this is gonna be the fourth time I'm gonna move this here, and I'm gonna start moving it more, right? So here we go, up and down, 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 perfect, right? So that was our fourth rep, and I moved it for longer, okay? So here's what we're gonna do here on our fifth rep. I'm gonna go ahead and tell her, Ellie, stay. For our fifth rep, I'm gonna go ahead and lift the whole thing, look, right? So this is incrementally getting a little bit harder for her, good girl. So she should just understand, okay, I'm holding my stay, he's moving it up and down, okay, he's moving it a little bit more, okay, a little bit more, oh, whoa, now he's lifting it up, right? So this is how you start to build your dog's understanding. Good girl, stay. So I'm gonna go back to lifting it up. Maybe I'm gonna lift it a little higher. I'm gonna go up and down just like this. Maybe go a little bit left and right. And then, yes, I'm gonna reward, right? So that's perfect, okay? So that's just presenting the distraction and moving it, okay? Ellie, stay. I'm gonna remind her to stay. Now let's go ahead and start to activate it. So Ellie, stay. I wanna make sure that we make eye contact here. Okay, I wanna make sure that we're engaged, right? We'll tell her to stay, and I'm just gonna barely turn it on. Let's see what she does. Okay, so you see how she notices? Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and mark that, and I'm gonna reward her. Perfect, okay? Stay, Ellie, stay. Here it comes. Yes, so you see her response? Good girl, right? So she's getting a little bit more, whoop, stay. A little more interested in it, right? As it makes that noise, okay? So let's come in. Okay, there you go, she's listening. Yes. So I'm going very, very light, right? I'm barely turning it on, okay? Ellie, stay. Coming a little bit more here. Yes, that's a good girl. Okay, so we need her to hold the stay. Okay. Stay. We'll go a little bit more. Yes, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Stay. We'll go a little more. Whoa, okay, so she's getting up, a little bit of scratching. We'll just guide her back with the leash. We'll tell her to stay. Stay. Okay, so go ahead and just engage that leash and collar there to just remind them to stay on task. Okay, so again, guys, I know it's gonna seem like, oh wow, the dog just needs to scratch or they just need to do this. Guys, a lot of the time, again, I've seen this play out. That's why, I'm giving you this feedback here because I've watched what happens when I'm like, okay, let them scratch. And the next thing you know, they totally get up. Or we've seen dogs that every time you ask them to do something, they scratch. They don't need to scratch until you ask them to do something, until you give them a command. And all of a sudden it's like, hold on, I need to scratch. Okay, guys, they're smart in that way, right? Stay. So let's tell her to stay. Let's kick it up here a little bit. Yes, good girl. And we add in a little bit more, right? Stay. Yes, good girl. So notice here, as I'm starting to turn it on, I'm not lifting it yet, right? Those are two different challenges, right? We have lifting it with not turning it on, and then we have turning it on with it staying stationary. Okay, so I'm building down. Good, stay. I'm building up to being able to move it around and turn it on, right? So one thing that I really want you guys to start paying attention to is, again, how to build your dog's understanding brick by brick, block by block, right? You have to build it. So we don't just come in right away and, force the dog to deal with a full-blown leaf blower at max speed. You know what I mean? That's obviously unfair to the dog, okay? Stay. So again, we've also been working her downstay up to this point, right? So we have over a week of just working her downstay with minimal distractions to be able to now layer in over the top a bigger distraction that would most likely scare a dog, okay? Most of the time dogs want to run away from the leaf blower. That's a flight mentality, right? So we're using her obedience to be able to communicate and guide her through a time where she may flight, okay? Good, stay. So first time sort of lifting it there, just like this, and turning it on. Yes, good girl. So adding a little bit of movement with the sound. Good girl, stay. So let's do it again. Good, so kind of full power there. That's a good girl. Good girl, stay. Let's get a little bit more. Yes, that's a good girl. Again, also pay attention that it's facing that way, okay? I'm not blowing the dog, right? I'm not trying to set them up to fail here. I'm trying to develop their understanding. Stay, build their confidence around these things. Yes, that's a good dog, great. Good girl, stay. Okay, so maybe now I'm gonna stand up. I won't turn it on, but I'm just gonna hold it like this, standing up here, holding it. Yes, come down and reward her, good girl. Stay, come down. I might then pick it up, turn it on, light turn on, light turn on. Yes, good girl. Stay, pick it up, light turn on. Yes, good girl. That's really good. There we go, that's great. Good girl. So she's not scared of it. She's not running away. She's not freaking out. She's not trying to attack it. Okay, good girl, stay. So, let me pick it up one more time here. A little bit more movement. Just go full speed here. Yes, that's a good girl. Good girl, mama. Okay, so again, we've been having her stay, telling her not to move. Let's go ahead and stay. We'll tell her to stay. Make sure we pick our leash up while she's still holding her stay. I've got my treat ready. I'm gonna go ahead and release her. Okay, okay. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Yes, that's a good dog. Good girl, mama. Okay, good girl. And we can give a lot of love and have playtime now. That was great. So that was perfect. Worked our downstay, added in the leaf blower, showed you how to build it step by step by step. So you're gonna swap out the leaf blower with a vacuum, the skateboard, the bicycle, you know, the stroller, any item that your dog is gonna be insecure with, you're gonna work this the same way, okay? Again, so downstay while adding the item over the top, right? That was really good. Good girl. Good girl.